miss her. You want to text her. You keep checking your phone hoping her name pops up again. But listen carefully. If you break no contact too early, you destroy your chances. Most men lose all their power because they cannot stay silent long enough. But there is one moment, one rare situation, where breaking no contact actually works. And if you miss this sign, you could lose your last real chance with her. In this video, I'll show you when to stay silent, when to respond, and how to know if she truly wants you back or just wants attention. Before we begin, I am currently working on the Stoic Relationship Blueprint for Men course that's coming in the coming weeks. This course is designed to completely transform the way you think, act, communicate, handle breakups, control emotions, build self-respect, attract healthier relationships, and stop losing yourself in people who only value you when they fear losing you. Every lesson breaks these principles down step by step in simple, practical ways that permanently rewire your mindset, sharpen emotional discipline, rebuild confidence, and teach you exactly how to apply these behaviors naturally in real life until calm, strength, clarity, and self-respect become part of who you are every single day. Before we start, comment, "I am the prize." Number 1. Stop chasing. The biggest mistake men make after a breakup is believing more effort fixes lost respect when the opposite is happening right in front of their eyes, because the harder you chase somebody after they emotionally disconnect, the more you train her to believe she can pull away without consequences and still keep full access to your attention, your validation, your time, your emotional energy, and your loyalty, while giving less and less in return. And that realization crushes many men because deep down you know the exact moment things started changing. You remember how conversations became shorter, how her excitement disappeared, how she stopped asking about your day with genuine interest, how she slowly became irritated by things she once appreciated. And instead of stepping back and observing the shift clearly, you begin overcompensating, trying to save the relationship through more availability, more understanding, more emotional reassurance, more patience, more compromise, until one day you barely recognize yourself anymore because everything revolves around keeping somebody comfortable while your own emotional stability slowly collapses. And what destroys men psychologically is not simply losing her, but realizing she watches you suffer while remaining emotionally detached, posting online calmly, replying hours later without urgency, acting distant while knowing you are sitting there overthinking every interaction, trying to decode whether she still cares. And that is exactly why emotional discipline becomes one of the most powerful forms of self-respect a man can build. Because when you stop reacting impulsively, you begin seeing people clearly instead of emotionally. You begin noticing patterns instead of chasing temporary emotional relief. And many men watching this secretly know they ignored obvious signs for months because loneliness made them tolerate behavior they once promised themselves they would never accept. And that is one of the hardest truths to confront, because many men are not addicted to the woman anymore. They are addicted to the hope that things will somehow return to how they used to be, even while reality keeps showing the opposite every single day. And once that hope controls your decisions, you become easy to manipulate emotionally, because she no longer needs to genuinely invest to keep you attached. She only needs occasional attention, a random message, a late-night memory, a small breadcrumb, and suddenly your entire emotional state changes again. And the painful part is realizing how quickly many men abandon their goals, routines, sleep, peace, focus, confidence, and even dignity, trying to regain somebody who already knows your value, yet still chooses distance. And that understanding should wake something up inside you, because a person who truly fears losing you does not comfortably risk losing you repeatedly while expecting endless patience from you. And this is why Stoic principles transform lives during emotional chaos. Because instead of obsessing over things outside your control, you begin mastering the one thing that truly shapes your future, which is your response, your habits, your standards, your discipline, your direction, and your ability to remain grounded while emotions try pulling you into destructive behavior. And imagine waking up tomorrow, no longer checking your phone first thing in the morning hoping she finally texts you. Imagine no longer spending hours stalking social media, searching for hidden meanings in her posts. Imagine redirecting all that emotional energy toward your body, your finances, your mindset, your confidence, your purpose, and your future, until one day you realize the breakup that nearly destroyed you actually forced you into becoming somebody stronger than the version of yourself who entered the relationship in the first place. Because one of the 7 behaviors that quietly teaches women your worth is emotional restraint. The ability to stay calm when she expects emotional panic. The ability to pull back when she expects chasing. The ability to focus on growth when she expects self-destruction. And that energy changes how people perceive you instantly, because calm discipline communicates inner strength far louder than emotional pleading ever will. And many men finally understand too late that every desperate message they sent after the breakup did not increase attraction. It reduced respect, because people naturally value what appears emotionally stable, self-controlled, purposeful, and difficult to emotionally shake. And the moment you truly understand that, the relationship dynamic changes forever. That is exactly why I created the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men, filled with timeless principles that teach you how to regain emotional control, rebuild self-respect, stop chasing validation, master discipline, and completely transform the way you handle relationships, heartbreak, purpose, and life itself. And it is now finally available in the audiobook version, so you can listen while walking, training, driving, jogging, or sitting alone, rebuilding your mindset one lesson at a time. The link is in the comments, and the powerful part is that this is not temporary content you watch once and forget, because this book becomes yours permanently, giving you lifelong access to knowledge you can return to during heartbreak, confusion, loneliness, emotional weakness, or any season of life where you need clarity, strength, and direction again. Many men spend years repeating the same emotional mistakes because nobody teaches them these truths early enough. But once these principles become part of your mindset, the way you think, move, respond, choose people, and value yourself changes completely forever. Number 2. Watch her message. Not every message deserves a reply, and many men destroy months of emotional progress because they confuse temporary attention with genuine accountability. And that confusion keeps millions trapped in emotional cycles where they repeatedly reopen wounds every time she sends a vague message designed more to check your availability than rebuild the relationship sincerely. Because a woman who truly understands the damage she caused communicates very differently from a woman simply seeking reassurance that she still has emotional access to you whenever she wants it. And many men know exactly what this looks like because you experience the random late-night "I miss you" text after weeks of silence. The sudden reaction to your story the moment you stop posting emotional content. The fake casual check-in asking how you are doing while completely avoiding the actual issues that destroyed the relationship. And because you still care emotionally, you immediately interpret these small actions as signs of deep change, even when her behavior continues showing inconsistency, emotional confusion, avoidance, and lack of real effort. And this is where many men lose themselves because loneliness makes weak communication appear meaningful. But when you step back calmly and observe clearly, you realize something painful. If somebody truly values rebuilding with you, they do not approach the situation carelessly. They do not send half-hearted breadcrumbs hoping you carry the emotional weight of restarting everything again. They communicate with clarity, because clarity reflects seriousness, while confusion usually reflects convenience. And many men secretly know they spend more time analyzing tiny details than evaluating the bigger pattern, because emotionally attached people often search for reasons to stay hopeful instead of honestly asking whether the relationship actually brings peace, trust, consistency, and emotional safety into their life anymore. And one of the strongest behaviors that quietly teaches women your worth is selective attention, refusing to reward weak effort simply because you miss companionship, because every time you instantly respond to low investment behavior, you teach her that minimal effort still secures full emotional access to you. And once somebody learns they can keep you emotionally attached without truly respecting your standards, the dynamic becomes deeply unhealthy. And many men watching this recognize the cycle perfectly, because she disappears emotionally for days, then suddenly returns with small doses of affection whenever she senses you emotionally pulling away. And instead of seeing this as emotional inconsistency, you convince yourself those small moments prove she still deeply cares, while ignoring how unstable the entire relationship actually feels most of the time. And Stoic discipline changes this completely, because instead of reacting emotionally to every message, you begin asking better questions. Does this communication show accountability? Does it show emotional maturity? Does it show effort? Does it show genuine understanding of the pain caused? Does it show consistency? And if the answer remains unclear, then the smartest response is patience rather than impulsive emotional investment. Because one dangerous reality many men avoid accepting is that some women return temporarily, not because they value the relationship deeply, but because they miss the comfort of your attention after realizing nobody else provides emotional security as consistently as you did. And if you are not careful, you become emotional insurance for somebody who still has no intention of truly choosing you properly. And that realization should completely change the way you view communication after a breakup, because the goal is no longer simply getting her back. The goal becomes protecting your peace, your standards, your future, and your emotional stability from patterns that slowly drain your confidence over time. And once you begin observing communication through actions rather than fantasies, your entire perspective changes, because real intention becomes impossible to fake consistently. Number 3, look for effort. Words are cheap, and many men stay emotionally trapped because they continue believing emotional speeches matter more than repeated behavior, even while reality keeps proving the opposite directly in front of them, because anybody can say they miss you during moments of loneliness. Anybody can apologize temporarily after realizing they lost stable emotional support. Anybody can cry when consequences finally appear. But very few people genuinely transform their habits, communication, accountability, emotional discipline, and treatment patterns long-term. And this is where many men begin awakening to painful truths, because deep down you already know the difference between somebody sincerely rebuilding and somebody temporarily returning for emotional comfort while remaining fundamentally unchanged. And one of the biggest mistakes men make is assuming strong emotions automatically mean strong character, when many emotionally intense people still remain inconsistent, selfish, immature, unreliable, and incapable of sustaining healthy relationships over time. And many men watching this already know how exhausting it feels, constantly trying to decode mixed signals, trying to understand why somebody who claims to care repeatedly creates emotional instability instead of peace. And the answer becomes painfully simple once you remove fantasy from the situation, because healthy relationships are not built through confusion, inconsistency, emotional games, or repeated disrespect followed by temporary affection. Healthy relationships are built through trust, reliability, emotional maturity, accountability, patience, and consistent effort, especially during difficult moments. And one of the 7 behaviors that quietly teaches women your worth is standards without apology. Because many men lower their standards out of fear that demanding respect will push her away. But what usually pushes people away long-term is emotional weakness disguised as unconditional tolerance. Because once somebody realizes there are no consequences for poor behavior, respect quietly starts disappearing over time. And many men secretly know they ignored things that deeply bothered them simply because they feared losing the relationship entirely, and that fear slowly destroys self-respect, because every ignored boundary teaches your mind that your emotional needs matter less than maintaining access to her. And Stoic principles completely reshape this mindset, because instead of centering your entire identity around another person's choices, you begin centering your life around character, discipline, purpose, growth, and emotional stability, regardless of external circumstances. And imagine how different your future becomes when you stop negotiating basic respect, when you stop accepting inconsistency, when you stop chasing clarity from somebody committed to confusion, when you stop giving endless emotional chances without seeing real behavioral change. Because many men remain stuck for years, not because they lack opportunities, but because they refuse to emotionally detach from situations, clearly damaging their peace. And another one of the 7 behaviors that quietly teaches women your worth is purpose-driven living, because people naturally value individuals whose lives contain direction beyond relationships. And many men lose attraction in relationships because they unconsciously make the relationship their entire identity while neglecting growth, ambition, health, friendships, discipline, and personal development. And then, when the relationship collapses, they realize they abandoned themselves completely, trying to keep somebody else emotionally satisfied. And that realization hurts deeply, because now the breakup feels like losing your future, your identity, your confidence, and your emotional stability all at once. But this pain can completely transform your life if you respond correctly, because emotional pain either destroys weak habits or creates stronger discipline depending on how you use it. And one practical thing you should begin doing immediately is rebuilding structure in your daily life, because structure creates stability when emotions become chaotic. Wake up earlier, train consistently, reduce distractions, stop stalking social media, write goals clearly, focus on financial growth, improve communication skills, strengthen your body, strengthen your focus, and gradually your mind stops revolving entirely around somebody else's inconsistent behavior, because purpose creates emotional independence. Number 4, reply with strength. Let's say she finally reaches out the right way, and suddenly everything inside you wants to respond emotionally, because the attachment still exists, the memories still exist, the loneliness still exists. And many men lose all emotional progress right here because they mistake access for reconciliation and immediately return to the same emotionally dependent mindset that damaged their confidence in the first place. And that reaction quietly destroys respect, because emotional desperation communicates that your life remained emotionally frozen, waiting for her return, while hers continued moving freely without consequence. And many men know exactly how this feels, because one message from her suddenly changes your mood instantly. Your heart starts racing, your imagination starts building future scenarios again, and without realizing it, you emotionally hand over your peace before she even demonstrates consistency, accountability, or sustained effort. And this is why emotional control becomes one of the rarest and most valuable qualities a man can develop, because calm communication reveals inner stability, while impulsive communication reveals emotional dependence. And one of the 7 behaviors that quietly teaches women your worth is patience, because patient people are difficult to manipulate emotionally, since they do not immediately react out of fear, loneliness, or temporary excitement. And imagine receiving a message from somebody who emotionally drained you for months, and instead of instantly responding emotionally, you pause, think clearly, evaluate the situation honestly, and ask yourself difficult questions like whether this person truly changed, whether this relationship genuinely brings peace into your life, whether reconnecting aligns with your standards, or simply feeds emotional attachment. Because many men secretly know they are not even chasing the actual relationship anymore. They are chasing the emotional comfort of familiarity, the comfort of being wanted again, the comfort of escaping loneliness temporarily. And once you understand this, you stop making impulsive decisions based purely on emotional hunger. And Stoic discipline strengthens this mindset because it teaches you to separate feelings from judgment, emotions from reality, impulses from wisdom. And many men desperately need this skill because society trains people to follow emotions blindly while ignoring consequences completely. But emotional impulses without discipline destroy relationships, finances, opportunities, peace, confidence, and direction over time. And another one of the 7 behaviors that quietly teaches women your worth is controlled communication, because calm, direct, emotionally grounded communication naturally commands more respect than emotional oversharing ever will. And many men unknowingly weaken their position by immediately revealing how deeply affected they still are, while she remains emotionally uncertain herself. And this imbalance creates unhealthy dynamics where one person constantly seeks reassurance while the other controls the emotional pace entirely. And one practical shift changes everything here. Stop responding to prove your worth and start responding to evaluate compatibility. Because once your mindset changes from "how do I keep her" to "does this relationship genuinely deserve access to my life again?" your communication naturally becomes calmer, stronger, and more self-respecting. And many men finally realize too late that people often respect calm emotional strength far more than emotional intensity, because emotional steadiness communicates security, discipline, confidence, and self-control. And life becomes significantly more peaceful when you stop operating from fear of losing people, because fear makes men tolerate disrespect, ignore intuition, abandon standards, and repeatedly accept treatment that slowly damages their confidence over time. And once you genuinely understand that your peace matters more than temporary emotional validation, your entire approach to relationships changes permanently. Number 5. Keep your power. Here is the truth most men avoid, because accepting it forces deep introspection about their entire life. Many relationships do not collapse because love disappears completely. They collapse because respect slowly disappears while emotional dependence keeps growing stronger. And once somebody realizes your entire emotional state revolves around their attention, they unconsciously begin valuing that attention less, because human nature respects emotional stability far more than emotional desperation. And many men know exactly when this shift happens, because you remember becoming more anxious, more available, more understanding, more emotionally reactive, more afraid of losing her, while she simultaneously becomes colder, less responsive, less emotionally invested, and more comfortable distancing herself, because she senses your fear of losing the relationship outweighs your willingness to walk away from unhealthy behavior. And that imbalance quietly destroys attraction over time, because people naturally value individuals who value themselves deeply enough to protect their standards even when emotionally attached. And one of the 7 behaviors that quietly teaches women your worth is self-respect in private, because true discipline appears when nobody watches, when you still wake up early despite emotional pain, when you still train your body despite heartbreak, when you still focus on purpose despite loneliness, when you still refuse to beg for attention despite missing her deeply, And many men underestimate how much internal discipline shapes external confidence. Because confidence is not built through motivational words. Confidence grows when your actions repeatedly prove to yourself that emotions do not control your decisions anymore. And many men watching this secretly know they abandoned their routines, goals, health, focus, and ambitions, trying to emotionally survive unstable relationships. And that realization should change something inside you, because no relationship should cost your peace, your direction, your identity, or your self-respect. And Stoic principles become life-changing here, because instead of centering your happiness around another person's behavior, you begin centering your life around principles that remain stable regardless of external situations: discipline, patience, emotional control, resilience, purpose, accountability, and self-awareness. And another one of the 7 behaviors that quietly teaches women your worth is the ability to walk away calmly when standards are repeatedly violated, because many men stay trapped in unhealthy cycles simply because they fear starting over. But remaining emotionally attached to situations, draining your spirit, slowly creates even greater suffering long-term. And imagine yourself continuing the same cycle for another 5 years, constantly anxious, constantly overthinking, constantly accepting inconsistency while pretending things will magically improve without genuine change. Now compare that future to a version of yourself who rebuilds discipline, strengthens emotionally, develops purpose, improves financially, becomes healthier physically, gains clarity mentally, and no longer depends on unstable attention to feel valuable, because both futures begin with the decisions you make right now after hearing these truths. And one practical step many men should take immediately is reducing emotional distractions completely, because distraction keeps people emotionally weak. Stop checking her profiles constantly. Stop rereading old messages. Stop discussing the relationship endlessly with friends searching for hope. Stop replaying conversations, trying to change the past mentally, and redirect that energy toward building a life so structured and purposeful that emotional chaos no longer controls your identity, because many men finally discover something powerful after enough growth. The breakup they believed destroyed their life actually forced them to confront weaknesses they ignored for years, weaknesses in discipline, boundaries, self-respect, emotional control, purpose, and direction. And once those weaknesses are confronted honestly, everything changes, because now your life no longer revolves around desperately needing somebody to stay. Now your life revolves around becoming somebody deeply grounded, emotionally disciplined, purposeful, respected, calm under pressure, and impossible to emotionally manipulate through inconsistency again. And that transformation quietly changes every future relationship you experience, because the moment you genuinely value your peace more than unstable attachment, your standards rise naturally, and your entire life begins moving in a completely different direction. Society teaches men to suppress pain, chase validation, tolerate disrespect, and stay emotionally weak, because a disciplined man who truly values himself becomes impossible to manipulate, which is exactly why the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men is changing lives so deeply through timeless Stoic principles that rebuild self-respect, emotional control, discipline, clarity, and inner strength immediately. And it is now available in the audiobook version, so you can listen while walking alone at night, training, driving, jogging, or rebuilding your mindset in silence while the rest of the world stays distracted. The link is in the comments, and once it becomes yours, this life-changing knowledge stays with you permanently through every breakup, every setback, every lonely season, and every moment where life tries to break your spirit again. Comment, "I choose discipline," if you are ready to stop chasing, take back control of your life, and become the kind of man who never abandons himself again. And like this video and subscribe, so these truths reach more men before they waste years giving loyalty to people who only value them once they are gone.